Would you like to briefly explain who you are and what it is you do on a daily basis?
Yeah, sure. My name's Jon Cambourne, and I'm a freelance cameraman and video editor. And yeah, on a day-to-day basis, I basically just create video content, whether it's for kind of brands or for kind of marketing companies or kind of within the broadcast world.
What previous work experiences do you have and how do they differ from one another?
So I've had quite a varied work experience background. On the kind of broadcasting side of things, I've kind of worked as a runner on productions, on factual productions, documentary sort of stuff. And with that, I've progressed to a camera assistant and then also a camera operator. On the other side of things, I've also worked for kind of marketing agencies, design agencies, and for sort of businesses directly, doing video production work for them. And now I'm kind of combining all of that previous experience to kind of work for myself as kind of a video production agency myself, in effect, kind of offering a full service production to companies and brands.
What made you decide to freelance instead of working for someone else?
For personal reasons, I really kind of enjoyed the flexibility that came with that. The ability to kind of pick and choose my own projects, my own working hours, kind of that flexible nature of it really appealed to me on a personal level. And also because it is kind of the norm really, freelancing in what I do, particularly working for kind of broadcast stuff, it's kind of, yeah, for creative, for camera and edit work, it kind of is primarily freelance anyway.
Is it secure in terms of pay?
So in terms of kind of pay and income, you are freelance, and I personally am a sole trader, so there are some risks with that associated with kind of pay and income.
Name some positives of your career.
I'd say some positives are definitely getting to some really interesting places and meeting some really interesting people. The start of this week, I was filming a kind of a little documentary series about Chinese food culture in the UK, which is just fascinating to me because I got a really interesting insight into kind of the state of Chinese food all around the UK and kind of where that is.
And what would you say is a negative?
So one negative can be that sometimes you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. Being a freelancer, being a sole trader like myself, the buck stops with me really. And yeah, it kind of can be slightly overwhelming sometimes if workloads get on top of you or you have lots of unexpected problems you didn't expect. But my way around that is to kind of really constantly stay in touch with other freelancers. I've got quite a good network of other freelancers doing stuff similar to me who we keep in touch and help each other out with problems and stuff.
What is the most important thing to consider when editing, and is there any practical advice you could give me?
A really important thing to consider when editing is the technical side of it. For me, that kind of documentary sort of style of stuff, making sure you have a great story, good contributors, and it's kind of edited together engagingly. But what I personally get put off by is content that's not kind of technically correct, and in terms of like drop frames, if there's little gaps, that kind of attention to detail basically, I think that will make you really stand out in the field of a very competitive field of other people trying to all get into this industry.
Name a few ways that students can stand out in work experience.
What they need to think about is kind of not just doing their job and going home sort of thing. Really try and get invested in the process and look for other ways to help and kind of always have that active engagement rather than just turning up and filming or doing a bit of editing and going. Try to really kind of make the production team's life a bit easier if you're working with a crew. And yeah, just look for opportunities to kind of help and sort of show what a kind of willing participant you are really.
What sort of advice would you give for someone trying to get into the industry?
First and foremost, I'd say just keep making content. Any kind of hands-on time you're getting with cameras, with editing, you're learning. And I'm a firm believer in kind of muscle memory, as in the more you do stuff, it just kind of becomes part of you and the quicker you can do things. And that every second counts when I'm on a shoot or when I've got an edit in terms of time and stuff. But for example, if you know you want to do video editing, just edit stuff, just whatever it is, and just try different techniques.
What would you say is your best accomplishment to date?
At the moment, a project I'm working on I'm really excited about. It's all about the decline of honeybees in the UK.
The Good Life Project farm is home to about 500,000 honeybees. We keep honeybees and harvest raw artisan honey,
which is kind of quite a hot topic environmentally. And I think the film we're producing at the moment for that is really kind of going to push some buttons and get people talking. I can't wait for that to be released. That's what I'm kind of quite proud of at the moment.
And thank you for your time.
No worries.